on in the aquarium basement. I don't even know where to start. But in this video, we're going to check out the 4,500 gallon again because what a difference a week makes. We have additions, modifications to the tank, big improvements to the tank, and we have an ecosystem that's coming alive. And who knows, we might even have fish in there. But one thing I can definitely tell you we have is an arrival of new fish for the grow out system. And these are all fish for the 4,500 gallon. So you're going to see in this video the future monsters for the 4,500 gallon. And in addition to the updates on the 4,500 gallon, we're going to go over what to expect with the Aquarium main channel in 2024. Anyone who's followed the channel for a little bit knows we have lots of mega projects planned for 2024. It's going to be crazy. But I'm going to break down the first 4 or 5 projects we're going to start the year with, and they're bangers. I mean, if you thought the 4,500 gallon was an undertaking, well, these are right there. They're on that scale. There's some serious upgrades coming to, well, almost all the tanks. Everyone gets an upgrade, right? That's how we roll here. Fish gets moved, they get moved to a bigger home. So within the basement, of course, nobody gets moved out. Fish come here, they stay for life. So anyway, we're going to go through those top 4 or 5 big projects. I'm going to show you what's going to be happening, fill you in, and what to expect in the first half of 2024. All right, let's check out the 4,500 gallon. All right, there's been a ton of progress on the 4,500 gallon since the last video. What a difference a few days makes. The wetland filter has been running, and as you can see, that water is very, very clear. It is looking awesome. It's nice to be able to sit back, do nothing, and let the filter take care of it. Secondly, we've added in all the plants in between. We filled in all the spots where there weren't any plants all the way down. And of course, I had to take a little swim in the aquarium, and we've added more water flow. So all the way down the aquarium, we have lots and lots of water flow all the way till about 28 feet in before it starts to slow up. Now there is still water flow here, but it is down in the tank, shooting down into the bottom area, which is then going to bring it up to our return pumps over here. And that is not the only change that's occurred in the 4,500 gallon, because a couple days ago I went ahead and added the very first fish to the aquarium, and there they are right now. It's a pair of albino red Oscars that my buddy Gary gave me a while back that I've been growing out specifically for this aquarium. And since they're smaller than the big boys in the 3,000 gallon, I wanted to get them in here first and get them well established before I move the big boys over. Now, they're not small enough to be eaten or anything like that, but they're certainly small enough to be bullied. So hopefully getting these guys situated first in the aquarium and then bringing the other guys over into a whole new environment will be good enough to mitigate any initial aggression as all the fish figure out what's what and who's space and everything like that. As well as we have a ton of sight breaks in this aquarium, whereas the 3,000 gallon has lacked those sight breaks for a while because I was planning on moving the fish or sort of been breaking it down. So here we obviously have a ton of more habitat and sight breaks, so hopefully all goes well with those new guys and the new fish, or the old fish moved over from the 3,000 gallon, the big boys. As you can see over here, just massive water flow coming out of the waterfall. And again, plants filled in where there weren't plants before. I can see new leaves already. We can see the roots just crushing out of those baskets. You know, they were all in there at one point, and you can see how they've all pushed their way out. So they know where the water is, and they're going to get it. So it's just a matter of time before that riverbank becomes a completely integrated, tropical jungle bank. It's going to grow up all the way to the ceiling. It's going to block that view of the back wall and the cables and everything. It's going to grow forward towards these lights and provide a jungle canopy up and over the aquarium. So it should be pretty impressive once it gets grown in. And certainly last but not least on the 4,500 gallon is I have added in a elevated platform. So I use PVC pipe, egg crate, and Matala mat, and I've suspended up these plant baskets about 8 inches off the surface of the wetland filter so that I still have water flow and water flow going underneath these plants, but so that I can basically have the entire wetland filter covered in plants. Of course, not blocking my clean out tubes here in the front, but basically covering the whole wetland filter And as these grow up and grow together, they'll basically form like a lid to keep evaporation down, because they'll get very, very thick and there won't be a lot of open space where water will be evaporating. And speaking of that, it's not something I've spoken about a lot, but the intention was always to have lids on the aquarium. So there'll be lids just like this going all the way down the aquarium. And there'll be a few spots like you see in the back there where there's not a basket and there's not a lid. That's where I'm going to put in Matala mat, where I'll fit it in there tightly, because we're going to have arowana in here and we're definitely not going to take any chances with those guys getting out. So as you guys are seeing this, it was only 3 days of the filter doing its job. So very, very impressive start to the wetland filter for this tank. Definitely gives me high hopes that it's going to live up to my expectations, as well as do as well as the one in the 315 has been doing. So as you can see, the 4,500 gallon is quickly turning into an ecosystem, and you can look forward to the fish being moved over from the 3,000 sooner than later. Obviously, I don't want to rush anything. I have some testing to do on the water as things establish. I have more bacteria to move over, and of course, I want to give those Oscar fish there plenty of time to get situated, but it won't be too long. I think a few weeks or so, and we're going to have an amazing video where we transfer the fish from the 3,000 gallon to the 4,500. That's one I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see those big boys in here, because I can tell you what, those Oscars over here, they're not full grown or anything, but they're not nearly as small as this tank makes them look. So it's going to be cool to see some 3-foot peacock bass in here and see what they look like in this beast. Well, if anyone's been wondering, will my bamboo sharks breed? Yeah, they will. That's what breeding activity looks like with bamboo sharks. That's the male bamboo shark, and he's got the female. They grab her by the fin, and he holds her down, and he's going to work himself around. You can see he's got the claspers underneath there, so he's going to eventually work himself around and, well, in theory, and try to mate with the female. But this is exactly what it looks like when a male bamboo shark is trying to breed with a female. And she's been pretty receptive. Basically, he grabbed her and they were up at the surface before, but she didn't give him too much of a struggle. And of course, he brought her down on a rock, so he's got something in his way there. But it's the first time I've seen him show breeding activity, so I'm not sure if he's got it down yet or if he's going to work his way around or not. He's kind of in a spot there with the female in between the rock and the glass. But yep, I would say it's just a matter of time before we have baby bamboos. Hopefully they hold off until I get them moved over into Predator Bay 3000, because I need to disrupt the environment, you know, when in the middle of hatching a baby. But either way, I'll have to take the egg out and move it to a more suitable location. But oh man, just what I need, baby bamboo sharks. So super exciting day. A couple packages of live fish, and of course the new grow out tub, the 150-gallon Rubbermaid. We have the water all ready to go with the air bubblers in there, and the first step is to take a little bit of media out of the 3,000 gallon, and we're going to add it here to the tub, so we have lots of bacteria for the new fish that we're going to add momentarily. Okay, we have two big large bags of nice mulmy, well seeded, probably 4 years worth of bacteria living on it, added to the aquarium. And this is pretty much how I jumpstart everything. Is I keep all of the sumps of all of these tanks full of extra bags of ceramic media, so I always have plenty of these available at any time. And I go ahead and I set up the new tank, let the temperature acclimate to the room, which is at 77, and then go ahead and add in the bacteria. And now what we're going to do is we are going to unbox 2 boxes from Predatory Fin. So let's see what we got in here. Let's see what's the future monsters for the 4,500 gallon. Okay, so I took a look in the boxes, and the first thing I'm going to have to do is stand up my auxiliary grow out tank, this 20 gallon on my desk here, and I'll show you the reason why. Okay, so first of all, everything packed well, thank you cards, stickers, even got a towel with heat pads in it. All the heat pads are still good. So everybody in here is alive, everyone in here is alive, and this is the reason I set it to a little 20-gallon. So I have the Bumblebee Oscars, 4 of them for the 4,500 gallon, but they came in smaller, a little on the small side, so I'm not going to be able to keep them with the other fish. They're going to be growing out in the 150-gallon tub, so they're going to start life in the 20-gallon, and then I have a 100-gallon grow out behind the 3,000-gallon, and once the fish are out of there, going into the 4,500, I can go ahead and move these guys from the 20 into the 100-gallon. So that'll just be temporary. So let's take a look and see what we got. All right, bag number 1, of course, the jumper, silver arowana, beautiful. Let's get him temperature acclimating. And we'll just go to another arowana, an albino silver arowana, and we'll go ahead and get him acclimating as well. All right, and what do we have here? We have a big bag full of wide bar silver dollars. Again, everything going in here is for the 4,500 gallon. So just keep in mind that everyone here is going to the 4,500 gallon with the peacock bass, the Oscars, and the pike that I currently have. And that's everything out of there. So now this next box is... Alright, so let me move this next box over here. And let's see what we have in here. I kind of like these silver dollars to be tipped up. Let's see if I can find a way to... Doesn't seem like it. Let's see if they're okay sideways. Yeah, it looks okay. Alright, let's jump into the next box. Flagtail Portulotus. We know I have a large one, and I always wanted to have a few more of these. So we're going to have a few more of these. Let's go back in, and another flagtail Portulotus. Go ahead and get them in. Tiger shovel nose. Also coming in a little smaller, so I think he's going to start with the Oscars in the 20 gallon, so we can get a little size on them. And then there is 3 Xingu peacock bass, which is very fitting that they'll be going into the 4,500 gallon Xingu Aquarium. And it should just be 2 more of those peacock bass. Yep. They look good size-wise. Oh, they look healthy and happy, but they also look good size-wise to be compatible with these guys. Okay, so while these guys are temperature acclimating, I'm going to go get some lids, because with arowana, we all know it'd be a matter of time they'd be jumping out. So let me get lids and a light for this, and then we'll let these guys out. So in just like that, we have the 20-gallon long set up, and we have the fish acclimating. There's the tiger shovel nose, and there is the Bumblebee Oscars. You can see inside the aquarium there's a bunch of ceramic filter material full of bacteria that was just moved over from the 125 Xingu River Aquarium. And there's also some fresh ceramic material in the filter there, which will get seeded. And if we check temperature, 77.9, so we are good. We've got it right there at our normal 77-degree operating temperature, so we're going to let these guys acclimate. And then meanwhile, I'm going to find some tops for the 150. Okay, it ain't pretty, but it's functional. For anyone who's thinking, is having the wood boards on there a little over the top? Well, not with my experience with arowana. I don't want to take any chances at all. So I can move a couple boards before feeding these guys and checking on them if it saves me ever having to have another arowana jump out of a grow out tub again. Alright, try to give you guys sort of a look at these guys as I'm processing them, but of course I want to focus on getting the fish moved in comfortably. So do my best to get these guys situated and give you guys a quick look. We're going to pour out all of their old water, and there's our first flagtail portrait lotus. In he goes. Next up, another flagtail portrait lotus. Looking good. The albino silver, albino arowana. I'm gonna say silver dollar again. What the heck? All right, here we go. It's gonna be a beauty. Woo! It's one of our Xingu peacock bass. Can't wait to have these guys and the Xingu pike in the Xingu Aquarium, the 4,500 gallon. Of course, peacock bass don't look like a whole lot when they're young, but very nice size. All right, our 5 wide bars. Looking good. One thing I can tell you guys, these fish were all overnighted, and still you can smell the ammonia, so you always want to pour that water out and not put it in the tank. All right, another Xingu peacock bass. And the last of the Xingu peacock bass. And then last but not least, the silver arowana. All right, there's the big silver there and the albino arowana over there. Pretty easy to see those guys. Quite honestly, everybody else is not easy to see at all. But what I want to do is, obviously I got the other fish to get acclimated, but I'll get these guys covered up and let them get acclimated, and then later on tonight see if they're interested in any food. But so far everyone came in looking good, and I think the acclimation process went fine, so looking good. All right, project number 1 for 2024 is going to be moving all the big Amazonian cichlids and peacock bass and flagtail portrait lotus, all these guys, from the 3,000 gallon over to the new 4,500. They're going to be able to stretch their fins. They've been cramped up in this 20.5-foot long aquarium, and now they're finally going to get into a 33-foot long aquarium, where we can see how big we can actually grow these monsters. So anyway, I'm interested to see what they look like in there, because they are humongous, but the 4,500 gallon is humongous, so we're going to see how it looks. So yeah, project number 1 is to get these guys moved over to the 4,500 gallon Xingu River Aquarium. So hopefully that is just a few weeks out, but then we will have all these guys situated in their new home. So we've already seen the bamboo sharks are breeding, and we can see that they definitely will be looking forward to their new Predator Bay 3000 home. So what's next? After we move the fish from the 3,000 gallon into the 4,500 gallon, we start on building Predator Bay 3000. We start converting the 3,000 gallon to Predator Bay 3000 saltwater, and we're going to move everybody from the existing Predator Bay 1,800 gallon aquarium over to their new, much larger Predator Bay 3000. All right, so once Predator Bay 3000 is done and the sharks and rays and groupers are all moved over to the new home, that's going to free up the 1,800 gallon, the current Predator Bay. Well, that's going to be the new home of all the fish in the 600 gallon reef slope and the other fish that are part of the marine system, the in-wall 265 and the clowns that are breeding in the refugium over there. They're all going to be combined together in the new 1,800 gallon lagoon aquarium. It's going to be a massive aquarium, 13.5 feet, 6 feet front to back, and a little over 3 feet tall. So a big improvement for these guys. Their current aquarium here is 6 by 4 by 4. Certainly a big aquarium, but nothing nearly as big as where they're moving to. And as well as the new tank, the 1,800 gallon, is going to allow me to do a really cool lagoon aquascape that I think not only the fish are going to enjoy, but I think that people are going to enjoy watching these guys utilize that scape as well. Then, of course, not to be outdone on the freshwater side, we're going to start building one of the 1,500 gallon aquariums. Because as we know, we have the 4,500 gallon aquarium. In the middle of the room, we have two 1,500 gallon aquariums. And then over here behind me, the last one to be built, we have a 600 gallon aquarium. So we're going to start with one of the 1,500 gallon aquariums, and this is going to be the new Amazonian islands. The current Amazonian islands is 750 gallons. Well, we're doubling up. This is the new 1,500 gallon Amazonian islands, which is going to give us a 10-foot long aquarium, 5 foot front to back, and a little over 3 feet tall. So this is going to make a much better habitat for the fish in Amazonian islands because I have a lot of big cichlids in there with the community fish, and the cichlids like to breed a lot, so this gives them a lot more space to spread out than the 750 gallon, which is more of almost like a cube. It's like a 6 by 5, and this is a 10 by 5. And then the last project for the beginning of the year is we're going to take everyone who's in the current Amazonian islands, 750 gallon, and they're going to be moved over to the new 1,500 gallon Amazonian islands, which is going to leave us with this nice 6 foot wide by 5 foot front to back by 40 inches tall aquarium that's going to be a new African cichlid aquarium. I've been wanting to add another African cichlid aquarium after the Xingu River tank. I enjoy that so much, and I think this is the perfect 750 gallon to do, I don't know, maybe peacocks and haps? We'll see. And of course, maybe we'll switch up the lighting again. As well as I'm going to make some modifications to the plumbing. What I've always dealt with this aquarium and a lot of mine is they're very efficient in that they break down everything, but they create a lot of mold. So I'm thinking about integrating in a nice sediment filter right here on the side. I could just plumb it in and then plumb straight into the existing sump filter. So lots of projects for 2024 without a doubt. Well, as you can see, there's a lot going on. Hopefully enough to keep us busy for a few weeks or so, or maybe 6 months. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of cool things happening in the aquarium and fish basement. A lot of cool projects, a lot of big moves, just all kinds of stuff. So we're not going to have any shortage of cool projects to work on, and I'm not going to have any shortage of video that I want to share with you on the evolution of all these aquariums. I mean, we got the 4,500 gallon going to turn into a real ecosystem. Yeah, we're converting the 3,000 gallon to a marine system, the biggest marine system I've ever had. And then we're actually going to have an 1,800 gallon community lagoon aquarium with a scape that I promise you will be impressive. It's copied from nature, so you know it was done right. But I think I can emulate what I saw in video nature and the way the fish are interacting with the scape. It's going to be awesome. And then, of course, we're building another tank, a 1,500 gallon. That's crazy. Bigger cichlid tank, new African cichlids. Oh my gosh, 2024 is going to be busy. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you a lot in 2024.